Hello and welcome to Community Distance Reiki. I'm your host, Danielle Stimpson, and it is wonderful to see you today. So glad that you're joining us. It was a last minute stream, just following up after the January 6th hearings as promised. And yeah, let's all just take a deep breath and let's process this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and take a peek in the chat in just a moment and start building the crystal grid. But before we get into that, I want to get into my usual welcomes. So if you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. And if you are enjoying this on the replay, know that you will have just as fun and healing a time as if you were here live. If you would like to join me live, go ahead and check out the description below. You can see all my regular days and times. I'm here 5 times a week. Same days, same times, and some additional streams sprinkled in. If you want to make sure that you don't miss an opportunity, go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you'll know as soon as I pop on when you can join. If you're here live with us, feel free to go ahead and use that live chat to make any healing requests that you have. You can either request the specific stone or the healing theme that you have in mind. I'll spend the first half of our time together building us a beautiful crystal grid exactly to your requests. And after a brief explanation of what Reiki is for those who are unaware or unfamiliar, I'll then turn down the lights, turn up the music, and send the healing to you whenever and wherever you happen to be. If you'd like to learn more about my online Reiki classes, my social media, my community Discord, or my crystal shop, go ahead and check out the description below. Thanks again so much for being here, and let's go ahead and get started. Grace, Cora, Carr, good to see you both. Welcome in, welcome in. So let's see. Christina, welcome in. Yes, we can support all of these things. Gotcha. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and open up the window here so I can stroll back to see all the requests. Yep, golden tiger eye. Got all that. Heart healing, back, peace of mind, money, solar plexus, absolutely. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and put us over to the crystal grid so we can build it together. Just bear with me one moment. Okay, and here we are. I've already started us off with a little bit of a crystal grid. We've got our copper in place. Copper, just like it moves electricity, it also helps move energy. So we've been finding it helpful for every grid, so we've brought it into every grid. Let me see what we have as far as crystals. We've got, by request, we've got Aventurine, we've got citrine. Citrine, which also helps to awaken the solar plexus and sacral chakras, but also helps to manifest financial gain and money. Heart healing, let's see what else. Herkimer diamond, sunstone, tiger eye. Herkimer diamond. Ametrine. So let's start there. So here is some ametrine. Ametrine is basically what happens when citrine and amethyst come together in the same stone. It is a little hard to see it in this particular specimen. Basically, citrine and amethyst are very, very similar and generally found very close to each other. A specimen that has elements of both is an ametrine. It has healing properties of both. So this is our ametrine here. We've also got sunstone, which is fantastic for expanding our vision of our own potential and allowing us to kind of dream big, seeing potentials for the future that might be beyond what we've even occurred to think, what's even occurred to us to think about. So we'll go ahead and we'll bring some of that here. I feel like that works really well with ametrine. So I'm going to put that close. Citrine, as I mentioned, fantastic for manifesting finances. It's considered like the money stone. A lot of folks give it as a gift to new businesses, other stones as well, but this one particular, it's one that you might put in your wallet or put in where you keep your checkbook or in your cash box, things like that. It's also superb for balancing intellect and intuition, especially if you're having difficulty trying to figure out where the insight is coming from. Did this come from something you know is concrete? Did it come from your gut? Is it a little bit of both? It helps you suss that out. In addition to citrine, we have herkimer diamond, which is a big time manifestation stone. It helps us to really communicate with the universe about what we need, what we want, and it helps the universe to kind of communicate back with what our options are, with what could be helpful. It really helps boost our messages to and fro the spirit world. So let's see. Let's go ahead and there we go. Fantastic. Aventurine is a stone that I often really enjoy using along with sunstone. Sunstone helps us, it's sort of like the step 2 to Aventurine step 1. Aventurine allows us to begin to expand our vision of our own potential, where sunstone helps us kind of blow the lid off of it. Here is some green aventurine. Oh. Let's see. I think that feels a little bit more balanced. Yeah, there we go. Aventurine helps us to, especially for folks who've been kind of browbeaten a bit, kind of told, oh, you can't do that, you're not quite good enough. That's a stone that kind of warms your heart and helps to ease and support you into expanding your vision of yourself in a very supportive and healthy way. For heart, there are so many stones, but I'm going to look at what else we have here in the requests. For back, absolutely. Healing mind, body, and spirit. Yep. So for back pain, we often use celestite. I know that that's worked really well for Grace. Fantastic for pain, physical pain of any kind. It's also great for connecting with our angel guides. So if you are looking to ask your guides for help, for financial success, or for financial resources, celestite can be helpful for that as well. And for solar plexus and heart. I'm really feeling pink tourmaline. Hey Vincent, great to see you. Pink tourmaline is one of the most sought after, highly regarded healing crystals for the heart, and without a doubt, it really helps to not only support and nourish the heart, but really kind of move all of the energy through it. Sometimes we have emotions that are so challenging, we kind of like push them down and store them here and there. Pink tourmaline helps us to process all of them through the heart in a way that we don't feel alone. It supports us through that process. So pink tourmaline for sure. Let's see. Yellow calcite for the solar plexus. This helps to bolster our sense of self by taking a sense of joy in ourselves. Sometimes empowerment can feel very challenging. This helps us to find joy in the very sense of who we are. This one is deeply empowering. You find it hard to find pink tourmaline pendants and watermelon tourmaline pendants. I have too, especially over the last some years. It's gotten really hard to find them. I have like one very teeny tiny piece of watermelon tourmaline, and I mean very teeny tiny. It's a very popular stone, so it's gotten quite pricey as well. Let's see, I want to put some tiger eye in here too. Tiger eye is fantastic for grounding and clearing energy. It's highly protective, and it gives this excellent sense of perception. So tiger eye, but think more like eagle eye. It gives you a chance to kind of step back and see everything in front of you and be able to discern what's going on. This can really help something like a yellow calcite, where yellow calcite helps us smile and be proud of who we are in a joyful way. This can kind of propel us to feel truly confident and confident in all of the ways that would be involved with logic. Like we logically know that we are ready for this, able to do this. We logically know what the truth is, what the issue is, and we know that and we feel that logically, and it matches with our identity of self, and we're willing to put ourselves out there and state what we know is fact and true. Intentions for giving and receiving and improving focus. Gotcha. For improving focus can definitely be some tiger eye. That can help. What else can help us with focus? I feel like Chrysoprase wants to come out. Chrysoprase can be helpful for follow through. So I find sometimes when I lack focus, Chrysoprase can kind of bring me back on path as far as like, okay, here's where I'm going. This is important. Chrysoprase helps us to be reminded of what our end goal is, and understanding and accepting all of the work that we've done so far to lead us to where we are, which ultimately helps us to see the end goal as attainable. So this can help with focus in that regard. It also helps with seeing things through, picking back up after potential disappointment as well. So let's see. Go. I kind of want to bring in one more heartstone. Let's see. Giving and receiving. I feel like this wants to come in too because it balances the solar plexus and sacral chakra, because we have a lot of both of those going on in this particular grid. Honey Calcite can help us with giving and receiving, and who has what, who needs what, making sure my needs are met, making sure I'm honoring the boundaries of others, making sure I'm standing up for and honoring my own boundaries. Honey Calcite, which looks very similar to yellow calcite, but just a little bit more of that honey color. Can be hard to figure out the sizing. Let's see. I think I'm feeling the bigger one there. Okay. Yeah, that can help balance a lot of the sunstone, yellow calcite, ametrine, tiger eye kind of vibes. A good stone to work with Chrysoprase to keep going and keep focus. Labradorite, tiger eye, and depending on what else is going on, like if you're working with Chrysoprase because you feel like you've had a setback and that's what's making it hard to keep going, then something to treat that sense of loss or that sense of failure or whatever might be coming up. If it's something where it's a matter of you just constantly feel like you want to be done kind of thing, like it's hard for you to focus on something long term and think of long term structure and goals. Something more like a ruby or a garnet might be better. But yeah, if it's something like moving forward after disappointment, I would say whatever helps with the disappointment or the sense of loss. So whether that's loss in a heart sense, something to support your heart. If that's loss in like a business sense, something to help you feel more confident there. If it's a loss that's hurt your sense of self, I'd say something to support the solar plexus. So I hope that helps. Okay, so let me grab one more for everybody's. Let's see. Yeah, and I think for one more for improving focus, I'm going to grab some labradorite for that, because labradorite really goes well with this particular grid. Okay. So labradorite is very grounding. It has these sort of bursts of bright blue, which you may or may not see that flashing in the camera. But essentially, this is one to help ground your spiritual senses and your intuition and focus the mind. It's considered a researcher stone. This and tiger's eye as well, but a deep researcher stone in that it aids with study and bringing facts on board and considering them, working them through, connecting the dots of something much larger. So I'm gonna put that here. There we go. That feels really good. Okay, so now we'll get to that point where I suggest a couple of crystals and you all vote on them to see which one gets added to the grid. And I never know how that's going to end up. Never know. And then from there, we'll go ahead on to the Reiki. Let's see, what would be good for someone who finds it difficult to receive financial abundance caused by family disapproval of recovering? Hang on a second. I have one that comes to mind. Just looking up the answer for that. Let me see. I'm seeing Chrysoprase is suggested for that one, which I don't have. What I do have, the one that popped to my mind, was Mahogany Obsidian. Mahogany Obsidian helps with the sense of paralyzing perfectionism, but it also helps with that side of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough kind of thing, especially as handed down from the family line or, told to us by parents and things. So I'm going to go ahead and put this out there. Like having to prove one's worth before you can receive, this is a good one for that. Yeah, I think that can help. But yeah, Chrysoprase, I'll see if I can find any. And I'll take that into account when I'm choosing the next stone. So let's see. Let me pick a couple stones for us to vote on. So the stones that I've selected, and I want you all to vote on what you think would be the best ones to uh, finish up the grid. One is unakite. Unakite is a stone that has to do with a lot of feminine aspects, but also like mother relationships. It can help us to feel back in the flow. It can help us to feel nurtured and learn what it is to be nurtured and supported. So this can be a really helpful stone for a lot of the themes that I've seen today. It's also very earthy and supportive. It supports the heart in the sense of it being green and pink. It supports the I'm compassionate with myself and others, and also the spiritual high heart, which is more of a pink. So it can really help balance that human spiritual compassion and love for self and others in a deep, deep way. And the other is septarian, which helps with emotional growth, but also learning emotionally based lessons, basically maturity in that sense of emotion, sort of like a what's an emotion and where is it coming from. It helps us to see it not just, oh, I'm caught up in my feelings to the point where I can't see the forest for the trees, but wow, this is some really intense emotion. Let me take a breath and see the bigger picture with it and see what my feelings have to teach me. So this is septarian. So septarian and unakite. So go ahead and vote. I never know how this is going to work out. And if you've never been here before, you're about to be let in on an inside joke. So all of you go ahead and take a vote in the chat. If you haven't already, if you could go ahead and like the stream, that really does help the algorithm to like pick me up and suggest me to folks. But really, the most important thing is that you're here. So thank you so much for being here. So again, welcome to Community Distance Reiki. I'm Danielle Stimpson. You can learn more about my online Reiki classes, my social media, my community Discord, my crystal shop, and all that good stuff in the description below. So what is Reiki? Well, the style that I work with and that most people in the West work with is also known as Usui Reiki. It really, the practice title translates fairly literally to Usui's method of natural healing. The concept of chi or energy through the Japanese perspective is that it's all around us. It's flowing through us and we're made of it. We all have our own individual energy. Everyone and everything around us has its own energy. And among those, between those, and passing through those are other, if you will, frequencies of energy. One of those being spiritually guided life force energy, or Reiki. In the West, the practice and the name of that energy have become synonymous, which is why we just hear the term Reiki. Essentially, the practice involves connecting with this energy that we already have access to, that's already flowing through all of us right now, that our body, mind, and spirit are already intimately aware of, connected with, and work with all the time. Essentially, I'll be connecting with this energy and directing more of it to all of you. And your body, mind, and spirit will automatically know how best to utilize it and support your greater good. You can go ahead and set requests as we've done today. Anything can be added to that kind of a healing technique, like that of crystals, for example. But essentially, just like when we drink water, and it's so critical to every function we have in our body, but yet we don't have to consciously think about how our body uses it, very much the same with Reiki. I suggest that you just go ahead and relax and see how it shows up. You may feel different sensations physically, you may experience different emotions, you may become aware of some mental patterning or some thoughts that maybe can shift for you. You may feel like you're going to fall asleep and take a nap, in which case certainly go ahead and do that. You may feel as though your mind is moving through and almost having very fruitful thought, or you might not be sure if your mind is wandering or not. Is it insight, is it intuition, or is it just what's up there? if that's the case, just go ahead and take a deep breath in and out. You definitely don't need to keep your mind silent, and you definitely don't need to focus on anything, although you can if you want to, if you find that helpful. I find it more helpful just to relax, be, and see what keeps coming to mind. If it comes up more than once, chances are it's important, and it might be insight, it might be intuition, it might be our subconscious trying to clue us in on something. As I send the Reiki to all of you, because energy is not created nor destroyed, and we're all interconnected, it doesn't matter where you are in relation to me, and it doesn't matter when you are in relation to me. It will still reach you and support your greatest, highest good exactly where you happen to be today. So during the session, I suggest that you just get comfortable. Sitting up, lying down, doesn't matter. You can get up, move around, grab a glass of water. If you want, you can even combine this time with something else that feels important to you. For example, stretching, yoga, journaling, painting, whatever feels right to you. At the end of our session, you'll hear my voice come back in and invite you to take a deep breath. After I give you several moments to kind of come back to your body, I'll reopen the chat and I'll invite you to ask any questions you have or share any experiences you had. If you're not here with us live, or if you think of something later, no worries. Go ahead and put it in the comments below or reach out to me on the social media in the description, and I'll do my best to help you find the answers. So thank you so much for being here. One of the principles involved in the community distance Reiki is that of communal chi, which we see coming from China. This concept is that the more people come together with the same or similar intention, the greater the energy potential available to everyone. So even though our individual energies stay separate from one another and protected, we still get that benefit of being so many here, all of us calling on health and healing and greater good. So thank you so much for being a part of that. This crystal grid is a physical manifestation of that as well. And if you want to rewatch this at any time, you always can. Just look at the past live stream healing playlist. You'll always be able to see the date of the live stream, as well as a picture of the crystal grid, so you can pick them intuitively that way. In the description, I always type out all of the names of the crystals in case you want to source them locally. You certainly can do that. And again, thank you so much for being here. It's an honor and a pleasure to share this healing with all of you today. So without any further ado, let's go ahead back to the comments and see the requests that everyone has, see what the results of the vote are, and get into the sending. And hello, Samantha. Manifestations, both please. Unakite. Gotcha. Peace, harmony between family and landlord and roommate. Oh, gotcha. Absolutely. So what we've got to help you for sure is some of these grounding stones. Like, yeah, these are a lot. There's a lot of solar plexus and sacral stones today. So it's a lot of where do I stop? Where does someone else begin? Kind of energy. And I feel like that's going to be exceptional for you, as well as heart healing and seeing through different things, balancing intuition with intellect. And additional to that, it looks like we've got both unakite and septarian, which will help us balance emotions. Here, I'm just going to flip back so you can see. Yep, so septarian is going to help us with balancing the emotions, learning from the emotions that we're feeling, being able to see them objectively and feel them while expanding our awareness of ourselves. Unakite is going to help us with compassion for self and others, the mother-child connections, and also nurturing others as well as ourselves. So yeah, welcome in, Samantha. Let's see, celestite is also going to help you a little bit with the not feeling so well too. So it's good to see you. I'm sorry you're not feeling better. Go ahead and get nice and comfy. I'm going to go ahead and send some healing to you. Everybody get nice and nice and cozy wherever you happen to be. There's no right or wrong way to experience this healing. Just get as physically comfortable as you feel you want to. I'm going to actually move these labradorites into the grid here. Move some septarian out here. Wonderful. Last thing is that as I turn down the lights and turn up the music, know that the lights, as they very gently move through several different colors, at no point will they flash or strobe, so you're good there. Thanks again for being here. Enjoy your session, and in about 25 minutes, you'll hear my voice come back. I invite you to take a deep breath in, and we'll take it from there. Enjoy your session. Thank you so much for being here with me today. to take a deep breath in and out. Slowly begin to come back to your body. If you'd like, go ahead and move your fingers and toes. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions or anything to share, feel free to go ahead into the chat and let me know. Tales from the script, it's always great to see you. Thank you for being here. I'm so glad, Grace. I feel better too, to be perfectly honest with all of you. Yeah, that's one of the gifts of practicing Reiki, is that we bring more of the energy through ourselves to share with others, and in so doing, much like the inside of a pipe gets wet when we're washing our hands, it's very similar. I get quite a bit of Reiki in even giving Reiki, and so I feel much better after sending as well. I have one of those rare jobs where you leave feeling better most days. And of course, today is in addition to my normal weekly schedule. That hasn't changed. I'll be here tomorrow, Wednesday, also at 4 p.m., Thursday at 8 a.m., Friday at both 4 and 8 p.m., Sunday at 8 p.m. There may be another hearing on Thursday. If that happens, I hope to be here within about 20 minutes of its ending, just like today. I may pre-schedule the distance Reiki, just depending on when the hearings get underway, which right now I know they've been a little subject to last minute change, so I'm going to wait until we're a little closer. You can absolutely use Morganite with Chrysoprase. You're so welcome, Vincent. Oh, thank you. Happy solstice, everyone. Absolutely. And you're so welcome, Samantha, and thank you. And yes, Grace, you can absolutely use Morganite with Chrysoprase. I don't usually work with Morganite, so I'd have to look it up a little bit. But yeah, you can use any of the stones together so long as they feel right for you. There's always going to be instances where it's bringing up different things within you and it's almost too much at one time. And then there's other times where those two stones that might not normally work together work perfectly for you. So I always say go with your intuition. Yeah, happy solstice, Vincent. Happy solstice indeed. Happy solstice, Korakar. Yeah, happy solstice indeed, everyone. I know, intense energy today and all this week. My Reiki Master class is scheduled to happen tonight, and I'm going to have to reschedule it because half the class is just not feeling up to it. And that's okay. All things in their time. It's just how Reiki works. You're so welcome, Grace. You're welcome, everyone. Well, the solstice, oh, have a good night. Have a good night, Grace. The solstice is the most amount of daylight that we'll see in a given year. It's considered the longest day of the year in terms of daylight. It's a lot of energy. It's like solar energy at its apex, like yang energy at its apex. Whereas the winter solstice is the opposite. It's the darkest day of the year. It's more yin energy. It's more resting energy. So this energy I find can feel quite tiring for folks. And I've definitely been feeling that. I would say if it feels like a lot, just feel free to ground. Eat a lot of, like, you might feel inclined to eat like almost like comfort type food or like easy to digest food. I find that during summer solstice, people's tummies are a little bit more prone to getting upset, but that's not everybody. And if you feel overwhelmed, tips like Epsom salt, taking a bath or soaking your feet in Epsom salt can really help like clear and ground that energy. But honestly, the best thing you can do is go outside if possible, feel the sun on your skin, put your feet in the dirt if you're in a place where you can. Yeah, blessed solstice, Korikar. Yeah. But yeah, if you can go outside today and let the sun beat on your skin for even just a little bit, even with sunblock on, it's huge. It will just feel really great. Okay, great. Oh, wonderful. Great, Christina. I look forward to seeing you. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I have to get ready for my class too. Have a beautiful rest of your day, Christina. Good to see you again. And so everyone, I'm going to go ahead and bring the stream to a close here. Thank you so much for being with me, especially on short notice. It was an honor and a pleasure. Yeah, Thursday we may have 2 streams. We'll definitely have the 8 a.m. Just, last time it was the last time or time before that I couldn't because of thunderstorms, but no, we're good now. But yeah, have a beautiful rest of your day. Enjoy what's left of the solstice. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you all again sometime soon. Be well. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day.